his biggest worry was what was going to happen to his old pea green wagon. And the detail guy was going to buy it and put it in demolition derby.
Oh no.
So I went and talked to the owner before he traded it in, and I said, hey, I don't want to see your car destroyed. What do you want for it? And he says, just give me what they're going to give me for it, $150.
No way. I got to tell you, man, I am so stoked to have you on the Dodge Garage download today. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because I am a product of vocational education. My personal story is that when I was in high school, I got started in a broadcasting class, in a radio class. Actually, I'll give them a full plug because it's still in business after all these days. WPHS at Cousino High School in Warren, Michigan, 13 Mile in Hoover. I got started my junior year in high school in that broadcasting class. And that absolutely changed my life because a teacher who had been a professional in the industry decided that he wanted to help people out and teach us. And that's where he changed his career and became an amazing instructor and taught us all about broadcasting. And of course, I've been a car guy anyway, just because I'm from Detroit, but you mix those two. And then I've been blessed to make a heck of a decent career out of talking about cars. And in a sense, you're doing that same thing, aren't you?
Yeah, coming out here and giving up the whole dealership thing and teaching full time, sharing what I know and my passion with students that actually want to do this for a living, and knowing that there's a lot of students out there that want to do this. So.
I'll use my air quotes, the people in the know claim that kids these days don't care about cars.
Right.
Are you seeing something different than that?
It really depends. A lot of them haven't had the opportunity. They have got rid of so many vocational programs throughout the country. It's terrible. And once I came aboard and kind of got this program going a little bit, my class has got a waiting list every year. And the students that are in here they love it. They get their hands dirty. I mean, it's just something they love to do. And a lot of them, it's why they come to school anymore.
It seems these days that there's such a push to get a degree, spend 4 years, 6 years, 8 years in college, and that's the way you're going to get ahead. But it does seem like the trades have been forgotten. What's your take on that?
That's exactly it. They push so hard for students to go to college and do this and that. And you see so many people that have done their 4 years in college or 6 years, and they're working at a Starbucks or still living with mom and dad, and they're 30 years old. My guys here have opportunities to go right into the field, and within a few years, they're making some serious money and have a great career ahead of them. It's too bad that they have pushed college so hard on everybody, and college isn't for everybody. We have such a huge shortage of quality technicians. It's ridiculous.
Well, you're not wrong. In fact, it's funny you should say that. Just before that we got on here, I was actually, I'm looking around on Instagram, and I ran across a video of a guy who's, I'll just say it was a Tesla, and it got munched on by some rodents. Some rats got inside of there and ate some of his wiring up. And it's still, at the end of the day, as technically advanced as that car is, it still took and again, I'll go back with my air quotes, it took a mechanic to figure that out. It took a technician. Somebody had to understand how that system works and how they could figure out, number one, what the problem was, right? And then how to repair that and get that car back on the road. It's not just, you guys aren't just wielding grease guns anymore. I mean, talk to me about technology.
It's not about just turning wrenches. I mean, today's technician is going to use a multimeter and a computer laptop as much as he's using a torque wrench.
Super true. Really true. So I'm looking behind you and I can already see the wagon back there.
Yeah.
I know I've talked before we went on the air here, and you're a Dodge guy, a Mopar guy, and you and I share an oddball passion for wagons. Tell me
Hmm.
about what that car is. Tell us about that thing.
Well, what it is, it's a 72 Dodge Coronet. I actually bought it from the original owner back in 1998. I worked at a dealership, and he traded it in on a Mazda Miata, of all things. The guy's 82 years old, and the detail guy was going to buy it and put it in demolition derby.
Oh no!
So the manager came out and got me because he knew I was a big Mopar guy, and he goes, "Hey, you got to see this wagon. I don't want to see it destroyed." So I went and talked to the owner before he traded it in, and I said, "Hey, I don't want to see your car destroyed. What do you want for it?" And he says, "Just give me what they're going to give me for it, $150."
Oh,
So
no way!
so I bought this thing for $150. Had a 318 with a 3-speed on the column, 3 in the tree, and I drove it that way for probably about 6 years. Of course, down the road, I put a 4-speed in it with a pistol grip, and now right now I'm doing a 3D3 swap in it because I happen to have an extra 3D3 with a 6-pack that I pulled out of my 67 Charger a few years ago. So it's got quite a bit of goodies on it. Got some nitrous oxide, 3 Holly tube barrels, big camshaft, high compression. So, 500 horsepower in a 50-something-year-old station wagon. What can go wrong, right?
It's is it a real Crestwood, or is it just it was just a wagon?
It was just a base model Coronet. The only option it had was the electronic ignition. It's got the roll down rear window in it, rubber floor mats, no radio, just as bottom of the line as you could get. Pea green inside and out everywhere.
God, what a cool car, man. That's just so cool. I have to admit that I guess it was before I bought my Wrangler. I've had my Wrangler for a couple of years. And prior to that, again, I was just looking for a daily driver, and I was trying so hard to find a Magnum SRT. And of course, the holy grail of modern Mopar wagons is, if you can find one, it's an '08 Magnum SRT, specifically in steel blue. If you can find one of those, there's 20, they made 27 of those, or 29, 27. They made 27 of them. And if you can find one, that's epic. Now you're going to pay a fortune for it, but if I could find one, it'd be so cool. It's a little fancier than yours, but the concept is the same, right? What do you think is, people don't see everybody's gone to SUVs now, but wagons, there's something special about them, right?
Yeah, I've had a lot of muscle cars. I had Chargers, Challengers, and I had a beautiful 70 Challenger RT that I restored. And when I take this to a cruise in or car show, I get more comments on this than my Challenger ever did, because everyone's got a wagon story back when they're growing up.
So hey, let's talk about your students. What kinds of projects are your students working on these days?
Well, a lot of students nowadays are into trucks, into big trucks, 4-wheel drive trucks. But there's some out there that love muscle cars, but they can't find them. There're just not any out there. I do have a couple that, got some cool stuff. I'll kind of walk you through the shop real quick and show you. Here's something you guys will probably like, is 68 Valiant.
Oh, cool.
And it's got a warmed over 318 that's going in that.
How do you guys finance all of this? That shop looks like it's pretty well equipped.
It's this used to be a local high school automotive program back in the 50s. It's been expanded on a couple of times, and now we have automotive, construction, culinary, integrated fire rescue, and computer technology, as well as childcare.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Huh.
And it's just, you don't see that too often. And as a result, like I said, my classes are full every year. So a lot of people don't amazing how many people don't realize that there's still auto programs out there.
Hey, any students that we can talk to?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me walk you out here real quick. I'm going to let you talk to some gentlemen over here. Sean. This is Sean. He's one of our ASE masters. He's got all 8 of his ASE base certifications. He recently started working at a local transmission shop while he's still here in high school. Right over here is Justin. Justin, same thing. He's our only 2-year master. He got all his master certifications last year as well as this year. So they both got a pretty good career ahead of them.
Hey, Sean, let me start with you. Number one, how old are you?
I'm 18.
18. All right. So, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm thinking about my son. My son is 14 years old. All right. And he hasn't at 14, no surprise, he hasn't found what he's passionate about yet in life. But when did you know that you were passionate about cars?
I mean, ever since I was young, I could always remember just pointing out cars, always everywhere. And they're like, really the greatest thing to ever happen.
What's your take on the future as a technician as far as opportunity for you down the line?
It's going to be ever and more increasingly electric.
You're not wrong on that one. Hey, Justin, let me ask you about that side of of education. You know, it's one thing to start turning wrenches, but when you start to have to, do tuning on a laptop, have you ever thought to yourself, well, hang on here, I got into this because I want to turn wrenches, not to be a computer guy, and yet you almost have to be, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you really kind of have to be. Most of the days you have to do most diagnostics with a computer or with a digital scanner, and that's just how the world's going to be.
Do you think that people understand, people out in the real world, I'll use the real world, right? Do they understand how much you know so that you can diagnose something that's wrong with their car?
I believe they have an idea, but not exactly how much we would have to know to diagnose their vehicle. It depends on the person.
Wayne, what do you think about that?
Pretty much everybody in this class has some sort of ASE certification. Most of them have multiple ASE certifications, which, like I said, right in high school, that's a pretty good thing, and it's just going to help them down the road. So I want to kind of get everybody in here so they can see all their bright, shiny faces and see the future of tomorrow's technician.
Wayne, I love seeing all of your students there. Okay, do me a favor, just kind of pan that camera so we can see everybody. For everybody watching this, you guys, that is the future of our world, not just as technicians, but as passionate car people. And Wayne, I got to tell you, I know I started this this episode of Dodge Garage Download talking about my personal vocational story in broadcasting, but I have to tell you that one of my teachers from back then, my junior year in high school at Cousino High School at WPHS, that radio station, my friend Will Hatch, to this day, and Will is essentially semi-retired these days. He's in his 60s now, but we have been friends for, what was that now, 35, 6 years. We have been, he wasn't just my teacher, he was my mentor, and we have become great friends, and we will be, I'm sure, until the day we die. And I hope you have that exact same influence on those kids.
Yeah, I think every single one of these students have my cell phone, and I generally, if I go through a weekend without hearing from one of them, it's kind of a weird weekend. So they're kind of like our own little family back here.
You guys, it's Wayne Parks. He's at Marion Technical Institute in Ocala, Florida. If you're in that area, look them up and see what they're doing, all the programs that they're doing there at the school. And I got to say, it is so impressive, and it is absolutely inspiring to see you carrying the torch and then passing it on to the next generation of car enthusiasts. Wayne, thanks for being on the Dodge Garage Download today. And thanks to everybody there. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.